Have you ever wondered why some women leave a mark on a man's heart long after she's gone? Long after the conversations have faded and the years have passed, her memory lingers. Most people think it's about looks or charm. Maybe she was attractive. Maybe she smiled a lot. But if you ask a man to explain why she was unforgettable, he won't talk about her face. He'll talk about how she made him feel. He might not have the words for it, but what he's trying to describe is the emotional imprint she left behind. See, men don't fall in love with a woman's appearance. They fall for the way she makes their world feel different, better, safer. They fall for the way she listens. The way she touches his arm at just the right moment. The way her voice softens when he opens up. The feeling of being seen, even when he's silent. And more often than not, it's not the grand gestures that do it. It's the small, everyday moments, the things you do without even thinking, the way you look at him when he's not looking, the way you remember what matters to him. Those quiet, subtle things, they're the ones that stay with him for life. Let me ask you something. Have you ever met a man who made your heart race with just a glance, who made you feel calm, safe, and excited all at once, even if he wasn't in the room? Now imagine, if you could make a man feel that way about you, not by pretending to be someone else, not by chasing, but by understanding the emotional keys that unlock deep, lasting connection. Today I'm going to walk you through 11 things women do, often without even realizing it, that trigger a deep emotional attachment in men. These aren't tricks. These are real, timeless behaviors that touch the core of what men crave in a relationship. And here's the promise. If you stay with me until the end, I'm going to reveal something at tip number 10 that most men can't even put into words. But once they feel it, it changes everything. So don't go anywhere. You don't want to miss this. And if what I'm saying already resonates with you, if you believe that love is about more than appearances, comment "love" below. I read every comment and I'd love to hear your thoughts. Now let's get into it. It starts with something so simple but so overlooked. When you truly listen to a man, not just hear his words but really listen, you create a space for him that almost no one else can. Men are told from a young age to be strong, to hold it together, to figure things out. Many go through life being told to man up, to stop whining, to push through. So when he's with someone who actually listens, really listens, with no judgment, no interruption, no need to fix him, he notices, and he remembers, because it doesn't happen often. A man opens up in layers, like pages of a book he's never been brave enough to read aloud. And when you give him your full attention, when you sit back, soften your tone, make eye contact, and simply be there, you become the one place in his life where he feels like he doesn't have to carry the weight alone. You don't have to solve everything. You just have to care enough to understand. And what deepens that connection even more? When you remember the things he tells you, the story about his dad, his favorite old song, that project he's been nervous about. Bring those things up later, even casually, and watch how he reacts. He'll feel valued, seen, respected, and he won't forget how you made him feel. Because a woman who listens with her heart stands out in a man's memory like a calm harbor in the middle of a storm. There's something else that leaves a surprisingly deep impression when you say his name. Think about it. Your name, spoken. With warmth, affection, or just a little bit of playful teasing, it feels different, doesn't it? Like being gently pulled back into the present, like someone's really paying attention. For a man, it's the same. When you say his name with emotion, you make the moment personal. You close the distance. You connect in a way that bypasses logic and touches something primal. It's his identity. And when it's spoken by someone who cares, it echoes louder. Try this sometime. When he does something kind or thoughtful, say, "You know what, David? I really appreciate that." Or when you're being playful, "Oh, come on, Mark. Don't act so innocent. I see right through you." It's light. It's easy and it's powerful. Using his name becomes like an inside joke, a quiet signal of closeness. And over time, those little moments add up. It's not just what you're saying, it's how you're saying it. With warmth, with recognition, with affection. And believe me, he notices. He may not say anything, but deep down it makes him feel known. Like he's not just another guy, but your guy. And that feeling sticks with him. Then there's something even deeper, a quiet magnetic force that draws him in whether he realizes it or not. It's when you embrace your feminine energy. Now let's be clear. Being feminine does not mean being weak. It does not mean you have to be passive or dependent or quiet. Feminine energy is not about volume, it's about presence. It's in the way you carry yourself, the way you show grace under pressure, the way you can be soft but never small. It's warmth, it's intuition, it's emotional depth. When a woman is in her feminine, she doesn't need to dominate the room. She draws people in by simply being. She radiates a sense of calm, a kind of joy that can't be faked. And when a man feels that from you, when he senses that you're at ease in your own skin, that you're comfortable being both strong and tender, something in him responds. He feels invited to show up in his masculinity, not in a controlling way, but in a protective, grounded, emotionally present way. Because the contrast between your energy and his, that's what creates connection. That's what creates spark. So don't be afraid to lean into your softness, your kindness, your laughter, your strength. It's not something to tone down, it's your superpower. And while we're talking about emotional connection, let's talk about something so simple but so impactful, your laughter. When you laugh, with a man, not at him, but with him, you're doing more than reacting to a joke. You're saying, I feel safe with you, I enjoy you, I can let my guard down here. And that's huge. Because most men live in a world that expects them to be serious, controlled, strategic. But when a woman laughs at something he says, especially if it's a little off the wall or silly, he feels like he's winning, like he's doing something right, like he can just be himself, and that's good enough. It's good. You don't have to fake anything. Just allow yourself to enjoy the moment. Be present, be playful. Whether he's doing an impression, telling a goofy story, or just being light-hearted, responding with joy creates chemistry. It breaks tension. It builds trust. And over time, those shared moments of laughter, they become memories, inside jokes, emotional glue. That's what keeps a relationship alive. Not just the serious talks and deep confessions, but the fun, the ease, the laughter. And the feeling that with you, life feels just a little more enjoyable. And if there's one thing that quietly holds a relationship together, even when everything else is changing, it's respect. For a man, respect is more than just politeness. It's emotional oxygen. He needs to feel that you admire him, not just for what he does, but for who he is. When you look at him like he's capable, even when he's struggling, that lifts him. When you ask his opinion, when you thank him for his effort, when you speak well of him in front of others, it matters more than you think. Because in a world that's constantly demanding more from men, a woman who honors who he is becomes his safe place. And let me tell you something else. Respect doesn't have to be loud. It's often in the little things. The way you listen, when he shares something important. The way you let him lead when it's his turn. The way you believe in his dreams, even when he's second-guessing them himself. That kind of quiet loyalty, that's unforgettable. When a man feels truly respected, not only does he open up, he holds on. He cherishes the woman who makes him feel that way, because it's rare, and when he finds it, he doesn't want to let it go. Then there's something that might surprise you. It's not about being together all the time. It's not about constantly texting or needing updates. Sometimes it's about letting him have his space, without panic, without drama. You see, men process differently. When life gets overwhelming, or emotions run high, many men pull back to regroup. It's not rejection, it's rhythm. It's how they recharge. A woman who understands that and doesn't try to fill every silence is powerful beyond words. Because instead of questioning everything, she trusts the bond. She knows that space doesn't mean separation. It means strength. And here's the irony. The more freedom he feels with you, the more he's drawn to you. When you give him room to breathe, he'll remember that you're the one who didn't make him choose between his independence and the relationship. You gave him both. And that kind of trust creates a bond he'll keep coming back to. Now let's talk about support. Not in a cheerleader way, but in a real grounded, I believe in you kind of way, because even the most confident men have moments of doubt. Moments when the world feels heavy, when the road ahead looks long. And during those moments, Your support becomes everything. When you tell him, I see what you're doing. I know it's not easy, but I believe in you. You're not just lifting his mood, you're lifting his spirit. You become his emotional fuel, his safe place, his reason to keep going. And it doesn't mean you need to solve his problems. Sometimes it's just being there. Sometimes it's asking how his day went and really listening. Sometimes it's reminding him of what he's capable of. That kind of steady support doesn't just make him feel good, it makes him feel grounded. And a man who feels supported becomes a man who opens up more, trusts deeper, and loves harder. Let's not forget joy, because sometimes the deepest connection comes not from what you say, but from what you share. When you have fun together, when you laugh, play, try new things, that builds a relationship that doesn't just last, it thrives. Life is heavy enough. When a woman brings light into a man's life, she becomes the reason he looks forward to coming home. Not just physically, but emotionally. Whether it's a spontaneous road trip, cooking a meal together, watching a movie you've both seen a dozen times, those shared moments of joy create a rhythm, a memory bank, a story that keeps getting richer. And in that space of play and laughter, he sees something more. He sees not just a partner, but a best friend, a teammate, someone who makes life feel like an adventure, not a burden. Now here's something that speaks louder than words: how you take care of yourself. A woman who values her own well-being, who rests, who nourishes her body, who protects her peace, sends a strong message. And that message is, I know my worth. And when a man sees that, he respects it, he's drawn to it, because it's not about perfection, it's about presence. When you walk into a room with confidence, not arrogance, but calm assurance, it's magnetic. A woman who loves herself, who knows how to say no when she needs to, who finds joy in her own life. She's not asking anyone to complete her, she's inviting someone to complement her. And that kind of energy is powerful, especially for a man over 50 who's not chasing drama, he's craving depth. And a woman who respects herself teaches others to do the same. Then there's vulnerability, the quiet kind of courage that builds trust faster than anything else. When you let a man into your emotional world, when you share your thoughts, your fears, your past, you're not being weak, you're being real. And real is rare. You don't have to bare your soul on the first date. But when you open up over time, when you show that you trust him with your truth, you give him permission to do the same. And here's what's beautiful. Vulnerability isn't just about tears or deep talks. It's in the way you say, that really hurt, or that made me happy, or I don't know the answer yet, but I'm figuring it out. That kind of emotional honesty creates intimacy, not just physical closeness, but emotional safety. And once a man feels that with you, he'll crave it, he'll seek it, because he's not just looking for a partner, he's looking for a home. And when your heart is open, he finds that home in you. And now we arrive at something deeper than all the rest. When a woman truly loves a man for who he is, not for what he can offer, not for the image he projects, but for the human behind the mask, something in him heals. Something in him softens. Most men spend their lives trying to be enough, trying to prove themselves to their parents, their partners, their world. But when a woman looks at him and says, not with words, but with her actions, you don't have to perform for me. You're enough as you are. That's a moment he never forgets, because in that moment, he doesn't have to earn love. He can simply receive it. And that kind of acceptance, it breaks walls, it builds trust, it creates the kind of bond that weathers the seasons, the struggles, and the silence. A man who feels fully seen and fully accepted becomes more of himself. And the woman who gives him that space, she becomes unforgettable. So let's bring it all together. Real love isn't loud. It's not always fireworks or perfect photos. It's found in the quiet moments, in the listening, the laughter, the soft strength, the playful teasing, the unconditional support, and the courage to say, I'm here, I see you, I care. These 11 things, they're not strategies, they're reflections of emotional maturity, confidence, and connection. They're timeless, they're real. And they're the reason some women leave a lasting impression, because they give a man something rare, a feeling of being fully alive, fully safe, and fully loved. So I'll leave you with this. Which of these resonated with you the most? What's one thing you're going to bring into your own life starting today? Comment below. I read every comment and your stories help others feel less alone. And if you felt something while listening, please give this video a like. It helps spread this message to more people who need to hear it. And don't forget to subscribe, because in the next video I'll be sharing the one silent mistake that kills intimacy over time, and how to avoid it starting now. You're worthy of deep, lasting connection, of love that feels safe, of someone who sees you, respects you, and chooses you every day. And sometimes it all begins with how you show up first. Until next time.